Okay, we're going to look at the Mustang game. And, you learn from the losses. And so there's a lot to learn from this game. First of all, let's look at how we're set up. We do have the back line set up how we want. Um, Ryan, I'd open up your body shape a little bit here. Um, but the thing I really want to draw attention to is Mateo. Mateo is in space in the middle of the field. So this team setting up their press, they left us this space almost always, and we only went out through Mateo or through the center mid a couple of times, but it was on. Um, the other thing that I'd note here is that Mateo doesn't really look like he's asking for the ball. So a person in this position, look around. If you're in space, start making eye contact with the keeper. Start pointing where you want the ball, because you should be asking for it in this position. So we can see even now he's just walking. He's look at all this space that he's in. We try to go out wide, um, which is a way to get forward, but it's a way to get around the pressure in the middle of the field. If there is no pressure in the middle of the field, then go central. The goal's in the middle of the field. We want to go out that way. So we go out to Braden. Um, Braden puts a pass into David. David has trouble controlling this ball. And this is why we work on first touches. This is why we work on the passing drills, where we want to be able to collect the ball quickly. We want to be able to trap it effectively. It's not helped by the state of the turf, but we're going to play on turf like that, on grass like that, all season. But because this first touch is loose, the next pass is a little rushed, and and now they're gonna get a shot on us for a second time in a very short period of time. Right on the heels of this, actually, there's a stop, and then AJ makes a decision to kick. It's not the right decision in this point. Just pick up the ball. You have time here to pick up the ball. Instead, you fire a ball over at David, and David does receive with his back foot, which is good. Okay, and we're giving the ball away in that position, which is super super dangerous. So this is, again, just the importance of the first touch. And this is something, so how do we practice our first touch? Find a wall, hit a ball against it, hit it against it 1,000 times, receive that ball, get to the point where you can control the ball, stop it at your foot, so that we don't have this rebound. The rebound when we're trapping a ball is almost always going to go to the opposition. And we see that time and time again across the field. And it's a real challenge when that happens, because that's a bad place to be giving the ball away. I just want to point out that they're doing a throw in here, and Oliver's our right winger, and yeah, Oliver, this is the right spot for you to be in. So oftentimes you're not there, but this is where I want you to be, sort of covering that weak side. In way down deep. So both wingers, this is something I need you to hear, is in a situation like this is exactly where you should be. And this may have been our most entertaining, most beautiful part of the whole game, was this sequence right here. So again, we're building out from the back, and kudos. Ryan, your body shape is better here, so that's great. We have our back line set up. Oliver's wide, Cabell's wide, and you can see Mateo's looking at me here because I'm calling his name, because I see he's just in this absolute huge amount of space. And what happens is he drops in, and I mean, look at how much space he has. They have given up defending the middle of the field, and so we go up. The first touch is a little loose, puts you under pressure immediately, but we get forward to Darshan, we get over to Oliver. So that was just a really nice little passing sequence. Oliver tries to get a ball through to Cabell. It doesn't come off. I like the idea. You do have space down the sideline. You do have Darshan back. Could have done a 1-2. That ball was, I mean, if he doesn't cut it out, it's actually through to Cabell and he's in on goal. But that was probably a little ambitious. But this getting out, you know, this this is exactly what we're trying to do. Look at how much space we have. We get the ball. We get the ball. We try something, it doesn't come off. But we don't have to go out wide. If we have space in the center of the field, and they're not marking us like that, then we should be taking it. All right, we talked a lot about not stabbing at the ball, and this is why. We come in, we stab, we miss. It's hard to recover from this. Now they just have the advantage. So we contain, we don't need to stab. We don't need to win the ball to play good defense. We need to prevent them from doing what they want to do. In this case, the stab puts you out of position, and then they're able to get past. The ball that comes right after this, we can see AJ takes a swing at it, and we just put it out of play. We had a lot of time there. That's a place where we just want to collect the ball, take our time, make a better outlet, get us restarted. And here we do exactly that. So AJ just more or less. There we go. Settled. We can get out. Here we have a bouncing ball, and David's going to come in hot and just ends up running right past the ball. So in a situation like that, you need to come in, you need to slow down so that you don't go right past the ball or the player. Let's look at this throw in. We do have an outlet. Braden's the outlet. So in theory, we have two options, but these two options are pretty close together, and you're going to see that they get closed down pretty fast. So now we're making this throw. We have two players standing right next to each other. Again, I'm not sure why we're doing that. And the throw is not going to beat the first man. We do have an outlet. It's Braden here. Braden maybe could move over more towards the sideline so that we're not so close to defenders. But, we rarely held on to possession on a throw in this game. We almost always ended up throwing to the opposition where, we just gifted them opportunities to be on the ball. Let's talk a little bit about distribution. I think both keepers mostly just punted the ball. And we rarely held on to those punts. It can be alluring because if we get that ball long and we hold on to it, we're behind a lot of their defense. But if we don't hold on to it, then we end up just giving the ball away. So we punt the ball. Oliver isn't as wide as he needs to be. David's in complete space. So the better option is probably to roll the ball out to David here. Instead, we try to kick it long. It doesn't go as long as we want it to. The first two people to the ball are the other team. So if we're finding that we're not actually able to hold on to possession with those punts, then we need to do something else. In this case, it is probably David who is the best option. I'm betting that there isn't anyone between Oliver and the sideline too. So there's probably a lot of space over on the right side of the field that you could put a ball into space for Oliver to run onto. But just kicking it downfield where we seem to have a less than 50% chance of retaining possession, well, we need the ball to score. They need the ball to score. So if we're just giving them the ball, we're creating opportunities for them. This was maybe the sequence when I figured out that something was wrong with Braden. Because we have, they're on the attack, and we're not picking up this guy. David's out wide. Braden's a little bit behind. Ryan's coming over to be in a position to help. We have forgotten that this guy's here. Oliver's a little bit behind, although he's racing to get back. uh, and just we don't stick with this guy at all. Um, and we can see Mateo's trying to come back to help. David's in a foot race here. Ace is going with him, I think, or is that? I can't remember if that's Ace or Angel. Um, and now we're in this position where they have two players across the face of goal, and we really only have one defender with them. So this was super dangerous. This didn't end up costing us a goal, but oh boy, it was. I mean, this is just a place where we get lucky. And Ryan's in between two players, right? He's trying to hold the whole back line, so he doesn't close down this player, which is probably what you should be doing. But we also have left a player completely unmarked standing in front of goal, which is just a dream for any offensive player. Um, this shot ends up going to AJ and he collects it. So here, when we're distributing, AJ does get the ball out to Oliver. And Oliver does a thing where he does the pirouette, which is something that we all should work on. And he's coming into the ball, and he's closer to the ball. He's going to win the ball, but he comes out of the challenge. All he needs to do is just actually pour on the gas, poke that through. This guy's going to not be able to stay with him if we're actually moving fast through that ball. But when we don't do that, well, we gave away possession. This was an attack that we should have been stampeding down the right flank, and because we pulled out of that challenge, we didn't get that opportunity. Here we can see that they're starting to figure out that we want to go central, and he's even faking like he's closing down the space, or maybe he's actually really trying to close down the space. And then this pass comes out, and it just takes too long, right? So the weight of the pass really matters here, because by the time it gets to Mateo, now he's under pressure. Now he's got two players trailing him. He's got a player coming in. Um, you know, the right move is probably a pass to I think that's Cabell right now. Instead, he tries to dribble out of pressure. When we have two players on us, in this case three, we pass. So in this case, Mateo cuts back into a defender. You can see Cabell is ready to go there. The pass, if we're doing two-touch soccer, we find Cabell, and Cabell is attacking. Instead, when we try to dribble through the other team, then we end up making mistakes. All right, let's look at this throw in. We really only have one player, Mateo maybe, but we're trying to get it to Darshan. I want us to look here. Look at down the line. Down the line, there's a ton of space, and Darshan sort of posts up instead. Mateo, this is not body language that indicates that you're ready to go, man. So and it's hot, and I understand that. But we get the ball to Darshan, but we're not. This is the space I want to exploit here. I mean, look at all the space in front here. We don't have anyone making a run or doing anything in this area, which we probably should. Darshan heads it back, and now Oliver needs to pick his head up a little bit here, because this is probably the pass. It's probably to Mateo. We end up kicking it into this area, which has no blue shirts, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe even 7. The majority of their team is right here. We do not have players there. This is the ball. So we just have to sort of make better decisions here. Here we're building out again, and we go wide to David. And again, look at the space Mateo's in. Mateo's in space in the middle of the field. He's not calling for it. This pass is a long pass. It takes a while to get to David. He's going to have a defender on him as soon as the ball gets there, and we're going to turn it over. Another throw and another turnover. We have Mateo here who's in space, and this is probably the better throw. Like, if we can get this here, then great. And if we can't, then it's going to be a turnover. And it turns out that We can't, and it just goes straight to the other player. So we keep on sort of assuming that we're going to be able to get it much further than we actually can, and we don't seem to be learning that if the throw isn't going to make it there, that it's going to be a turnover. We do that consistently throughout the game. We hardly ever held on to possession from a throw. That's a really big opportunity for us to improve on. Need to think a little bit about priorities there on the back line. So ball comes down, David's chasing, Jackson's in at center back, and he's going to drop into a position maybe to cover. But this guy's a pretty big threat. Um, Ryan is too far away to help with that player. He's looking at the far post. Um, so at this angle, I'm more concerned about this player than I am about this shot. This is a super super low percentage shot. We don't want to take shots like this, and it ends up just going to AJ and he collects it easily. But uh, we keep on leaving people open in front of goal, and that's going to come back to haunt us. All right, let's just talk about positioning and decisions here. David is up off the end line. Look at this player. He's poised to pressure. Um, Ryan is further back, probably a better option. Our two center. This is, I think, Cabell's playing striker here, and he's way deep in our half. I want him at the absolute top of the field. And our two center mids have pushed out wide. Their Asa's here, like outside the line of the box. You can see he's really wide. If Cabell leaves this space and goes where he should be, up towards the center circle, then Asa or whoever's playing the other center mid can drop into this position. But we've kind of messed up our shape, and when we mess up the shape, bad things happen. So this ball comes to David, and you can see David has time for a touch because that player's right on him. So we distributed the ball to a player who's going to be immediately under pressure, um, and uh, and there we have a loose first touch because he's under immediate pressure, and we're going to give the ball away. Let's look at this throw in. Ball's just gone out. Okay. 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000, and now we're making a throw and we throw it directly to the other team. We end up getting this somehow, but we shouldn't. If we look at this, now's the time to make the throw right then, and we wait. And just when we wait, we're the longer you wait, the less likelihood that you hold on to the ball, that you keep possession of the ball. So I think we'll end it there as we're almost at 19 minutes here. We don't keep possession on throws, and that's an opportunity for us. That's a thing we can fix quickly. We also have to work on making better decisions distribution wise. We need to work on our first touches being clean so that we don't put ourselves in a bad position with that first touch. We need to look at our spacing and positioning both on defense and on offense. So, this game was a bit of a hiccup for us, but you learn in the losses, right? Like this is where we're actually going to learn things. And we can see there's a lot of things that we can correct, that we can work on both in practice and at home. And I encourage everyone to do that. See you on the field.